fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. Fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Schoal Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. And now your host, Schoal Stevens.
Scholar. A little bit of feedback going on, but I think I got it straightened out now. It's amazing. I test everything before we come on, and son of a gun, when we come on, here we go. Anyway, it's going to have another great show for you this morning. We'll have Robert from the Florida Fisherman magazine here on in just a few minutes. We're going to have a little bit about kayaks today. It kind of worked out that way, and my co-host is one of the top female kayak anglers here in Florida, and her name is Pam Worth, and she's going to give us a little bit of a lowdown because she was involved in a little bit of a kind of a fishing tournament sort of thing here not too long ago. Good morning, Miss Pam. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Gosh, it's a beautiful day over here on the West Coast.
Did you hear
morning.
Did you hear the echo when I first started?
No, I was completely muted. For some reason, I didn't hear anything.
Okay.
All of a sudden, I popped on in the middle of your conversation.
All right. Well, I was having an echo going on here, and I couldn't figure out where it's coming from. Then I realized it was one of the volume controls turned up a little bit too loud. So last weekend, you did some fishing.
Yeah, I had a beautiful time. I went out and pre-fished with a buddy of mine, Brian Nelly, pushing water kayaks, and caught some beautiful sailfish and kingfish. Had a great time. Then I did Saturday the Extreme Tournament and did real well on barracuda. Lost two nice kingfish, and got shark bit on a tuna. So that was disappointing. But then Sunday I came back to Tampa and fished with Captain Lori Denton with Real Ladies, and fished with two people I've never fished with before, and a captain I've never fished with before, and had absolutely a blast.
Wow.
We had so much fun. We didn't win, but I don't think it was about that. It was just about going out, having a good time, fishing with some other ladies, and enjoying themselves. We did catch 6 different species.
Wow.
So we did have a great time. It was a lot of fun.
Making memories. That's
exactly.
Some of the I still remember some of the stuff that my dad and I and my mom and my brother did, fishing trips. One in particular was when we lived in South Miami at the time, we drove all the way to Naples. We got up Sunday morning, drove all the way to Naples, got up early Sunday morning, and drove all the way to Naples, went fishing all day on the pier out there. I don't know if it's still there, but it was a gorgeous pier that was there. Spent the whole day fishing, caught a bunch of fish, a great experience, and came back home that day, all in one day, all the way to Naples and back, all in one day. And I still remember it very, very vividly. I remember the trip going on. I kept saying, Dad, when are we going to get there? It was like a 2.5 hour drive in one direction.
Yeah, that's when Alligator Alley was only 2 lanes, and you had to dodge all the dead critters on the road.
Danger road. I haven't been on that in many years. Have you been on it recently?
Oh, I travel it probably almost monthly.
It's not like that anymore, I take it.
Yeah, it's very quick. It's 4 lanes.
4 lanes, great.
I've never had a problem lately.
Well, to give you an idea, the last time I was on it was 2 lanes.
Oh my God!
Yes, that's how long ago it was, and it was treacherous because you get somebody who, I don't remember what the speed limit was, 50, 55 miles an hour, but you get people who do literally 35, 40 miles an hour, and you want to get to where you're going. And you try to pass these people, it becomes very treacherous because it's only 2 lanes, and there's constant traffic coming in the other direction. You got to be careful. So I'm glad they made it 4 lanes. That's great. One of these days I got to get out there and visit it again. But
it's well fenced off, so you don't get the critters on the road anymore.
Yeah, that was a big problem. But I bring up the subject because of the memory. You're making memories, lifelong memories. And this is why I love doing this show. helping people create lifelong memories. Doesn't take a whole lot. Some fishing line, a fishing rod, a tackle box, a little bait, something to put the fish in when you catch them. Go out and enjoy yourself. I tell people we're surrounded by three sides of this state are surrounded by water. If you're not here for the water, you're in the wrong place. If you don't like water, you're in the wrong place.
Yep. No, it's beautiful. And this morning, like I said, I'm sitting in the backyard, and it's just gorgeous out. It's just beautiful.
Well, I'm looking at. I was going to do the weather, so let me go back to the weather map. I'm looking at the weather map, and there's some stuff going on both sides of the state. A little bit of activity, kind of, sort of in your area, down near the Fort Myers area, some in the Sarasota area. That's moving northeast, so it's going to be coming on land here very shortly, probably within the next hour and a half. And we have some activity on the East Coast, but it's moving northeast as well, and so it's moving away from us. So the East Coast is going to be the clearer of the two today. The West Coast doesn't look too bad. It's just sparse here and there, a little bit of heavy-duty showers going on, but they're offshore still. It's about probably 50 miles, I'm estimating here, about 50 miles offshore. According to NOAA says on the East Coast over here, winds are going to be 5 to 10 knots. Seas are going to be less than 2 feet. Intercoastal waters will have a light chop, and there is a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Well, that's the typical summer cycle that we're into. As far as the beaches go, there's no big warnings out on the beaches on the East Coast. Just be aware that there may be some rip currents because some of the waves coming in. When all that water comes in, it's got to go back out somewhere, and that's what they call the rip current. If you get caught in that, and I've been caught in it several times, the first time was very scary. Very scary because you have no control over what's going on around you. The water literally drags you back out. As hard as you could swim, you'll never outswim it. Fortunately, I kept, after about 30 seconds of freaking out, I kept my head about me and I just went with it and then swam parallel to the shore, in the same direction as the shore, and then eventually got out of it and swam back. So just be careful. There's a risk for rip currents, not very much, but it's going to go up as the day goes on. I think the water's going to pick up a little bit. Other than that, it looks like going to be a great day. Just remember, some of our beaches on this coast over here have rocks, so be aware of that. Other than that, get out there and enjoy yourself. What do you got planned for the day there, Miss Pam?
It's an unusual day. I actually have to go into Tampa Fishing Outfitters this afternoon, right after the radio show, as a matter of fact, and work. We've got some extended hours there because snapper season's open, and everybody wants bait, and everybody wants to upgrade their tackle.
Snapper season. So what do you, when you're fishing for snapper, what do you look for? What are some of the telltale signs of an area that would be good for snapper?
Here it's offshore. You've obviously got to go out a bit, and you're looking for the reefs and the rock piles, where they're going to be. A lot of the captains now have them marked. I'm going to go up to Navarra when in the middle of July and go snapper fishing up there. Mm-hmm. The reefs are a little closer than they are here in the Bay Area, the Tampa Bay area. So that's pretty much it.
How far out do you have to go?
From Tampa Bay, you've got to go out pretty much. You need to take a kayak probably won't reach the best snapper grounds. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can get mangrove snapper here all day long. I limited out Friday, and I limited it out 2 weeks ago on snapper. Did really, really well.
Wow.
But yeah, and nice ones, 14, 15 inches, which is nice for a mangrove snapper. Yeah. And we get grouper. We get not as many red grouper, but we get grouper and gag grouper. And you can get those in Tampa Bay because we've got some nice deeper areas. But if you're going for red snapper, the short red snapper season we have, you're going to go out to the reefs. And from this coast, it's a little further than a kayak can go. I know from you've got some wrecks over there and some reefs that are within a couple miles. So there's a possibility of pulling some snapper up there. Mm-hmm. I've just not fished for them over on your coast yet.
Yeah, we're going to have Bruce Marx on. Hopefully we'll have him on. Bruce is going to give us an update on the, I think they call it the Schoal Reef Project. We're off of Palm Beach County. They're manufacturing a artificial reef. They're dropping all kinds of stuff down there that has been donated and purchased. And some of the divers have gone down and reported back, and we're going to have an update on that, as well as one of the things I really appreciate about people like Bruce. Bruce was someone that had very expensive equipment stolen off of his boat, but instead of being a victim, he became a victor by going back and fighting against these people that are stealing, and really making some heavy progressive moves forward against the people that are doing these things. It's a horrible feeling to come back and find something that belongs to you gone. You know that somebody took it. It's a horrible feeling. And he's really made some strides. He's going to give us an update on that as well. So we'll talk a little bit about that when he comes on. I'm kind of looking for Robert. I don't know. Maybe Robert's still sleeping.
He's sleeping off his birthday party.
Oh my goodness. I think, was that a week-long thing? Gee.
I think so.
All right. So we'll have, hopefully Robert will call in here in a few minutes. And then
yeah,
I think
I have a question for him. I have some friends of mine in Palm Beach just bought a flats boat, and they're looking for areas, Palm Beach and north, to fish for redfish and trout. Well, if you come up to the lagoon, which is a haul for them, I know that area, but I don't know that area between Palm Beach and Mosquito Lagoon, and they're looking for intel. So if anybody knows, give me a text and let me know.
Okay, well, you can ask him. He just came on. Welcome, Robert. How are you, my friend?
Good morning. How is everybody?
Great. How are you doing?
Hi, excellent. It's the sun's out today. That's a good start. So I didn't see much of that yesterday. So
yeah. And we had afternoon showers here that came in like blockbusters.
Well,
they were at the at Jonathan Dickinson State Park. They had the big paddle event yesterday.
Oh.
And they got just monsooned on. It was bad.
There was some heavy stuff coming through.
It didn't work out well.
There was some heavy stuff coming through. Now, I don't know if either one of you have noticed this. Last week has just been off the charts when it comes to the temperature. Even in my car, I couldn't get cooled down. I don't know if you were experiencing that. I don't know what the heck was going on last week, but I certainly hope that this isn't an indicator what's coming, because it was unbearably hot. My goodness, it was hot.
There was actually a day, I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday last week, where they had a heat warning for
Palm Beach
County.
Yeah.
Well, they had a heat index of 116 or something.
Yeah, but we had that. I think it was that high that wouldn't allow any rain or anything. Mm-hmm. And now that we've got the rains back, it helps cool off the afternoon.
Yeah, I'm grateful for it. I know it was some real thunder boomers coming through, but I'm grateful for it because it certainly cools it down. I was just amazed at how, and the first thing I thought of was, Robert, you were telling me last week some guy had a kayak hanging out of his truck. I think it was last week, and it was so hot that it melted.
I saw that photo.
Oh, my God. So now I realize why.
Melted his kayak.
Yeah, we've got to take a little bit of care. For some of us are more heat sensitive than others, and just be a little careful out there. And remember, if you're light skinned, I have kids. I call them the white meat kids. I mean, they're literally white. In 10 or 15 minutes, you'll burn. You got to be careful. On a day like Wednesday, I don't have any question that within 10 or 15 minutes you would get sunburned, literally sunburned. So be careful while you're. We want to have fun, but you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to end up being.
Speaking of being careful, 4th of July weekend's coming up, so the FWC posted something the other day. They will be actively pursuing DUIs on the water. So
I don't understand.
It's always a bad weekend for boating accidents anyway. Yeah. So everybody just be careful out there. You don't need to drink that much. So.
Well, I've never understood why it is okay. It seems to be okay to drink and drive a boat, but it's not okay to drink and drive a car. What's the difference? They're both motor vehicles. They're both moving at a relatively fast pace. They both require your attention at all times. And you need to be cognizant of going on around you. Especially, I think it's more dangerous in boats than it is in cars, because at least a car you got a road. In a boat, you go whichever way you want. So they can sneak up.
Even the guys on the jet skis, just watch what you guys are doing. I know you're busy jumping wakes and stuff, but look at the other boats coming the other way, and just everybody be careful out there. I don't want to read a bunch of bad stories on Monday. So,
Yeah, just a little common sense and we'll go a long way. We'll go a long, long way. I typically don't go out on holidays anymore, out on the water, and try to stay off the road.
I won't be out
for
on the
matter.
water, that's for sure. I don't do that, but
and I try to stay off.
Not on a holiday weekend.
I try to stay off the road
Hey,
as well.
Robert.
Yeah,
I have a question for you. I mentioned it earlier, but do you know a good spot from Palm Beach North for a flats boat that's looking to target redfish and trout?
Yeah, he's looking Palm Beach North.
Yeah.
Yeah, up here in the Stewart area.
Okay, I'll let him know that. Any particular?
Actually, if you come in from the inlet and just follow it around to the right, if he goes to the inlet and then just backtracks and go around to the right, going north from the inlet, it sort of bends and goes up. You'll follow flats all the way.
Perfect. Thanks. I'll let him know that.
Yep.
So, Robert, did you do any
you'll
fishing?
Probably run into Patrick from Daymaker Charters or his other guy that runs the flats boat right in there. There's mangroves up in there, and there's flats, and it's a great area for that. So
nice.
I was asking you if you did any fishing, Robert.
I have not. I've been working on the magazine all week, and I'll be working on it again today and Monday, and it'll be done, and then I'm going fishing. So then I'm going down to the Keys. So.
Well, I thought you told me you were doing that last week. Or was it you were working on the magazine? Maybe it was magazine.
Yeah,
Could be.
It's magazine week, so didn't get it finished by Friday, so it'll get finished by Monday.
And if people want to see the mag, how do they do that?
Yeah, www.flfishmag.com, and next month, if you want to send stuff in, it's pages@flfishmag.com. We have to have everything in by the 20th.
All of the entries in the magazine are people who have volunteered their stories and their pictures and that, stuff of that nature. It is really an awesome feeling to know that all these people get together. I mean, my gosh, how many people, Robert, are involved in this?
Oh, God, 7 or 8,
yeah,
9, sometimes as many as 15.
You got all these people working
together. The great
together.
part about the magazine is it's like a great big family. Everybody seems to know each other. We've all gotten to know each other now, and everybody trades stories, and everybody talks after the magazine, and you'll find conversations on Facebook between people who work on the magazine. It's just a great big family. The magazine has become just a huge family, and I love it that way. So
well, and it shows because it's well done. Oh my gosh! If you haven't seen the Florida Fisherman magazine, you've got to go check it out. I promise you will be impressed. It's well done, and you can see there's a lot of work that goes into this, and he does it every month. And if you have something you want to share with Robert, I won't speak for Robert. I won't tell you he'll accept it, but I will tell you he's willing to look at it and listen and read it. And if it falls along his parameters, he'll put it in there. So if you've got something
Speaking
you want
to,
go ahead.
Stephanie Lynn, who does all of our underwater stuff, it was her birthday the other day. So happy birthday, Stephanie. So.
Happy birthday, Stephanie. Yes, an amazing young lady goes around in the middle of the ocean spearing fish. Oh, my gosh, I still can't imagine that. I wouldn't even go swimming out there, let alone go spear a fish that's bleeding all over the place.
Well, she's got a great story in there. So she was, doing her stuff again. So... And there's a picture of her with she shot this one with a spear gun. I think her world record was done with a sling, but this one was shot with a spear gun, and it's got to be close to 35-pound bull dolphin she's got. So.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Well, it's always interesting. It's always impressive to watch. If you want to see some of it, it is at flfishmag.com. You can go there and take a look around. I tell you, just a few moments there on the website, you'll see there's a lot of work that goes into this, and I appreciate the idea that there are all these people working together so that they can produce something that they all believe in and entertain. It is quite entertaining. I'll tell you, the picture I'm thinking of right now in my mind, this young lady, I think she's in her late 20s, early 30s, swimming alongside of a shark. It's, I don't know, it's what, 12, 13 feet long, a tiger shark, right?
It was a 12-foot tiger shark. Yeah.
It's just amazing. And she's not swimming with tanks on her back. She's swimming with a snorkel. So, yeah, a lot of amazing people working together to bring a product forward that is really entertaining. That's congratulations, Robert.
Thank you. And Raymond Luzeau sent in a great story on a tuna he caught, a big bluefin tuna. So there's a great story there. There's just some good stuff in there this month, so check it out.
All right, my friend, one more time, the website.
www.flfishmag.com. And you guys have a wonderful weekend and a great Sunday.
And before you go, if they want to submit a story, that is what?
They just send it to pages@flfishmag.com.
God bless you, my friend. Wish you a wonderful day. Go ahead, Pam.
You guys have...
No, I was
Hey,
going to
Pam.
say, and again, happy
Pam, I just wanted to
belated
tell you, I saw a picture of you with that sailfish. That was awesome.
I promise you I will get my stuff together and stop fishing and write a couple stories for you. My bad.
That would be awesome.
I'm sorry, sir.
No problem. You're busy fishing. Where I should
And she
be.
is. Let me tell you, she has been fishing her little footies off. I'll tell you, it's been one
Yes,
after
she
another
has.
with her. Thank you, Robert. God bless you, my friend. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Fishing in Florida. Fish Florida. Fishing in Florida.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Grace has some pretty stellar arms, like Serena Williams good, but her face is pretty disgusting.
Someone please tell him to go back into his closet and leave us alone.
Brittany's face is so stupid and I hate her so much. It's like a scientist created her in a lab to annoy humanity and didn't even do that good of a job.
Megan reminds me of a troll doll that came to life intent on killing us with her stupidity.
Why is Grace's head so big? It definitely has nothing to do with how smart she is and probably everything to do with how bloated she is.
He's so funny. Just kidding. Who would find this disfigured flamingo funny?
Never post a selfie of yourself. You look so ugly.
The only reason you have so many views is because we think you're a freak and we can't look away.
Megan is the main reason that the world sucks so much.
I would rather get cancer than listen to another Trevor Moran song.
You are a mistake. You should have never been born.
Drown yourself in a shallow puddle, please.
Wow, I hope she's sterile.
These really stopped being funny a long time ago.
You're so much more than the things that people say about you.
Those people have no right to say cruel things to you to make themselves feel better.
It's okay that you sound different than everyone else.
That's what makes you so special.
We will not tolerate it.
We will not tolerate it.
We will not tolerate
it. We will not tolerate it.
Every day, people make me feel like I stand out simply because of the way that I look.
Every day, people make me feel small.
Every day, I face the cruel words of bullying.
And every day, people tell me that I'm brave for enduring this humiliation.
But we're not the brave ones.
It's the ones that say no to the bullying.
The witnesses.
And if we all join together, there's nothing that we can't do. We will no longer be the silent majority.
When we see bullying online,
we will let the world know that we're going to take action with the eye.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
Our actions will overpower cruel words.
I am a witness.
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 There is power in words.
But it's nothing compared to the power of the actions that we put behind our words.
Visit eyewitnessbullying.org to learn more.
I am a witness, and so are you.
I'm gonna stand by you.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Schoal Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. And now your host, Schoal Stevens.
Well, a good morning to you. Hello and welcome. It is the Fish Florida Show. I am your host, Schoal. This morning, a little bit of technical difficulties. First, I had a bad echo, and then I dropped a call, but I got the call back. So we're kind of playing technical musical chairs, if you will, here in the background. Anyway, it's the Fish Florida Show. I am your host, Schoal. This morning I have with me Pam Wiesz. She's one of the top female kayak anglers. She's always so generous with her time and spending time with me this morning. Gives me a unique perspective because this is somebody who's literally at the water's level fishing. And some of the fish that she's pulled up, go to the Fish Florida Show on Facebook and you'll see some of the pictures. Quite impressive. Good morning, Miss Pam.
Good morning. Thank you so much for that introduction.
It looks like, and I'm not sure I'm going to say his name right, Wiesz Jansci, right? I think that's how it's pronounced. Wiesz Jansci. He is the young man that caught a 34-pound Mahi. I think he was in a kayak as well. I just got a text from him. He's not going to be able to make it. He's having issues on his end. So we'll see if we can get him to come back on. 34-pound Mahi. He was in a kayak, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He was out of Pompano when he caught it. I think he was a couple miles out, but I'm going to wait and not spoil the story and let him tell it when we can get him back on.
Yep. But that's amazing. In a kayak, and you got to... So the thing had to be, it had to be a 3.5, almost 4 feet long. And kayaks are,
and
what are they, 12,
that's
13?
a powerful fish. That's when you turn around and gaff one to bring it on the boat. Basically when you catch them on a boat, you open the cooler, gaff the fish, throw the fish directly in the cooler and shut it.
Yeah, if you know it's good for you. Yeah,
because they plop around all over the place.
Not only they flop around, but they bleed like crazy. So while they're flopping, they're bleeding, and it looks like there were trips we would come back. And the inside of my boat was white. I know the majority of the boats on the out there are white. There were trips that we would come back, looked like literally we had been in a war. There was blood all over the boat, everywhere. There was no, you try to wash it down, but like I said, if you catch him and you don't put him in that cooler right away and they're bleeding, it's just, imagine the fish is flipping around. Well, that blood's flipping around and it's all over you. It's all over the boat. It's everywhere. So it looks like you've been in a war.
It's a hot mess.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun, and my gosh, I think about the days that we used to go, and we would call it pulling plastic. A lot of times we would have ballyhoos set up with skirts, and then we would just pull lures, just plastic lures without anything. If we didn't do any good with that, we would go to the ballyhoo and try several different things as we pulled the plastic around. And it would be, I don't know if this happens with you if you're out there trolling, but to me it got kind of boring after, you're pulling, it's been 15 minutes when nothing's happening. And so you begin to get a little bored, and you try to pick up a conversation about something, trying to take your mind off it while you're killing the time waiting for the next fish to hit. And then out of nowhere a fish hits. And so you go from absolutely boring to absolutely hectic in a matter of an eye blink.
Exactly. At least on a boat, the nice thing about a boat is that you've got usually 2 or 3 people there. You've got somebody to drive the boat, and then you've got at least 2 anglers. So one person can be pulling in the extra lines, and the other person can be fighting the fish. So when you're in a kayak, that's a whole different story.
I can imagine. I've got, looks like Bruce Marx is on the line. Good morning, Bruce. How are you, my friend? Are you there, Bruce? Well, maybe he's just listening right now. Hopefully he'll pick up. All right, maybe we're having technical issues here. I'm not sure. It looks like he's on the line with me, but I don't hear him. All right, we'll just give him an opportunity. If you're there, Bruce, speak up. I'll send him a message and let him know that maybe he's just calling in early. Who knows? Anyway, I apologize. I got totally sidetracked when I saw him show up like that.
That's okay. I just know I had to push the star button twice to get on. Just FYI. I don't know why that happened.
It's acting kind of funny on me this morning. I'm not really sure what's going on. But anyway, I will send him a text in the interim of all that and see if I can catch him, see if I can get his attention. Bruce was due after, I want to say his name is Wiesz. Is that how you pronounce his name? Do you know? Wiesz? Wiesz
I believe so.
Wiesz Jansci. I can't imagine being in a kayak and catching a seriously big. Well, I mean, you're one of them. You caught one that's almost as big as the boat that you're in. That's crazy.
Yep. But I think that's definitely the biggest Maui caught in a kayak in South Florida that we're aware of. That was a monster.
I think we'll find out when we talk, because I was going to ask you where do you put something like. So when you're out fishing, do you have a container that you put the fish in, you hang over the side of the boat, or you have something in the boat that you put fish in the boat?
Everybody kind of has it differently. I have a fish bag that fits on the bow of my boat. I zip tie it to the front, and the bag opens. It's kind of almost triangular shape, so it fits perfectly the bow. And I'll throw 5 or 10 pounds of ice in there. And, my little trick is I put a heavy-duty garbage bag inside my bag, so fish with spines don't cut the inside of my bag. Plus, it's a lot easier to clean your bag out afterwards if you keep all the fish juices in the garbage bag.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Wow.
And I have that up front, and even in the worst weather, worst waves, I can throw a fish in there. Now, I've had times where the fish's tail comes out over my depth finder, over my pedal system, and is right there.
Wow. Well, and you're not. I know this is a silly question, but I have to ask: Are you ever concerned about flipping over?
Thanks, Bill.
Yes and no. Okay, if the weather is really bad, my biggest fear is not being out there with heavy waves. That doesn't bother me because the waves go up and down, and we're like a bobber.
Mm-hmm.
The times that I have flipped or rolled is once I had a crack in the boat that I didn't realize, and the interior of the boat kept collecting water, and it had so much water in it that one of the big yachts came flying by, and its wake was so big that my boat kind of went, rolled a little bit, and when it did, all the water went to one side and flipped and rolled it. But I was already on my way back in. I knew there was something wrong with my boat, and I was on my way back in. So it wasn't a big deal. I had tied down everything in the boat.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I lost besides my pride was the scissors and the pliers.
Well, it looks like I have Bruce back on. Let me see if we can get Bruce up here. Good morning, Bruce.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
There he is.
I apologize, but my smartphone was a little smarter than me, and I followed your directions about putting the thing on mute, and then I couldn't unmute it when you were talking. So I apologize.
How funny. That's all right. It's an honor and privilege to have you on, my friend. Good morning to you.
I'm doing well. How about you all?
Go ahead, Pam.
Great. It's a beautiful morning. I'm enjoying the show, and it's beautiful outside. I'm kind of sitting outside, and my dog's hanging out with me, so we're just kind of enjoying the morning.
Hot dog. We're going to have a couple extra minutes with you this morning, Bruce. The guest that was supposed to call in had an issue and couldn't call in, so we'll have an extra couple of minutes to spend with you. And first off, let me pass on my condolences. I know that your dad passed on. My condolences to you, sir, and I know that we have prayed for you and your family.
I appreciate that.
Next thing I wanted to bring up was you've been so good about a couple of things, two in particular that I want to bring up. One is covering this artificial reef project that's been going on. I wanted to get an update on that. And the other was I had expressed earlier that you had some equipment stolen from you some time ago, but instead of becoming a victim, you became a victor by going after these people and introducing something where the rest of us can join in and, literally fight back, because it's getting worse. I keep reading more and more posts about more and more boats, bottom units stolen, electronics stolen. So people like you who are out there active about this and fighting back, getting people involved, that's really what it's about. And so let me start with the Reef Project. We got about 5 minutes or so. The Reef Project itself, how is that going? There was a phase 2, right? Was there a second phase in this?
Yes, actually, the Reef Project is it stems from a bigger project that was involving the bent range marker off of Government Cut. And at the time that the port was doing their deep dredge project, that bent range marker, which has always served as a major source of bait for the sail fishery, was almost removed. And once we got word of that, started a big local effort to get contributions to buy out the contractor on that aspect of the contract, shift the bill of sale from the United States government over to Dade County, Miami-Durham, save the bent range marker, and due to the monies that we had received in the local fund drive, had some money left over. That money was then applied towards this Bug Light Schoal artificial reef project, which was meant as an attempted remediation from the fad that we lost when Bug Light was removed by the Coast Guard a couple of years back. So we had some leftover money there. I started working together with Durham in order to find some acceptable sites to them. We wanted to put this site back in the Biscayne National Park where the Bug Light was, but the park said no, so we had to find alternative locations that would be suitable and acceptable to the Reef Project with Durham. And so we found this other location just off of a little bit northeast of the Cape Florida Lighthouse in 22 feet of water. And so that there was two stages to that project. The first stage was to deploy the materials that were donated early on a couple of years back and held in storage. And then the second phase was to deploy the lime rock boulders in and around the cement materials that were first placed in the site. And the site itself is a 300 by 300 foot box. The materials went in, and about a little over a month since deployment, people are seeing bait at the location.
I thought that was really cool because there was some pictures. Somebody took some pictures of it, and there's already little fish, bait fish, showing up already. I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, we're getting reports already. There's a lot of cigar minnows showing up. I think some people said they're seeing some little sardines. But only in a month's time,
that's amazing.
Start flourishing already is great.
Yeah, that's great. I love hearing about stuff like this. We have Liza Fitzgerald comes on. I don't know if you know who that is, but she's with CCA of Florida. They work on most of the work I believe that they do is on the other side of the state, but they do things like put fish in the water, clean up old crab traps and stuff like that. These are the kind of things I love to help and promote because everybody wins, and I'm part of everything. I'm part of everybody. So really, it's kind of a selfish thing in a way, but everybody wins, and those are the kind of things I enjoy to promote and to tell people that there are people out there that are working different. Can you imagine how complicated it was? Just a short bit that you just talked about. Those of you out there who have no idea how complicated it is, you're shifting money from the federal to the local, you're buying out a contract, you're getting who knows how many people together in order to bring a project up that what happens in the end, we all benefit. That's great. Thank you, Bruce. I greatly appreciate that.
No, you're quite welcome. It is a community effort. I got a desk job, and I got the ability to send emails and harass people if need be. But these things don't happen. I'm happy to take the point on these projects, but these things don't happen without the fishing community responding. And then what I've learned through these projects is if you have more people in the community rattling their sword on something that's a non-political issue, everybody embraces it. And so that's what makes these things happen. Yeah. People have to get involved. It's just not enough to complain or shoot a comment on Facebook. You have to roll up your sleeves and take some time out to get something accomplished.
I agree, and the evidence of anything happening is right there. The story you just told. Why they would take the first part of the reef down to begin with? I don't know what got into them, but to be able to stand up and say no, we're not going to allow this. We're going to do our part and make sure that this doesn't happen, and then reinforce it by making it even better, adding. Oh my gosh, I don't know how much stuff I've seen pictures of that has gone down there, but it's quite a bit of stuff that they have dropped down there.
Yeah, in fact, if people are listening and if they are on Facebook, there is a Facebook page called Bug Light Schoal Artificial Reef Project. Bug Light Schoal Artificial Reef Project. And I invite them to join the page because what we're trying to do is get people to give input when they go by there. From time to time, tell us what baits they're catching, how good the bait fishing is, because based on that information, I'm going to go back to Durham and see if we can open up get permits for locations near that spot, because as good as this one has taken, if we get some in a 500-yard box in and around it, before you know it, we've got a great bait fish hatchery that everybody can sit on and not have to have bumper boats on a Saturday morning during sailfish season.
Been there, done that. Well, Bruce, hang on with me here. We're going to take a break, and then we'll be back, and I want to pick up on the other project that you've been so successful in, and that is the Anti-Theft Project. So hold on just a moment. It won't be long, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
What's up, Ricky Dillon here at the largest social media gathering in the world. So the internet is an amazing place, but sometimes it can be a not so great place with online bullying and trolling and stuff. Have you ever seen online bullying before?
Unfortunately, it's kind of common. Online, people can hide behind the internet. Those comment section can be a little
harsh.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's a good word for it.
I've been called many homophobic names.
I felt embarrassed. I felt humiliated. It made me stop liking myself.
What if I told you there is something that you can use anytime that you see bullying online that calls attention to it in a nice way? Like, hey, that's not nice.
I wish that was the thing.
It's this! So anytime that you see any kind of hate online, go into your phone, go into the symbol section, post this I, and it says that that's bullying. That's not nice. So would you post this if you saw someone bullying someone?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like a lot more mature way to handle the situation.
Find the emoji in your phone, send it to 5 of your friends, and let them know what it means to be a witness.
Go to eyewitnessbullying.org to learn more about the emoji.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick of Bowen Realty. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped, even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion: air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick of Bowen Realty. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478. Diane Whittick at Bowen Realty, located in Wellington at Wellington Trace East and Forest Hill Boulevard. 561-247-5478.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework.
He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Club, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclubb.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. Stop fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Schoal Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. And now your host, Schoal Stevens.
All right, my friends, we are back. It is the Fish Florida Show. A beautiful morning here in Florida. If you're not in Florida, you have my condolences. But that's what we're here for. Water on three sides of the state, and people like me who love the water, and hopefully a lot of you out there who are listening love the water as well. Today we are, seas look like they're going to be okay for boating according to NOAA, 1 to 2 feet. Winds will be 10 knots or less. The beaches are looking good. The radar indicates that there is some activity on both sides of the state. A little bit of activity on the west coast, and both sides where the activity is occurring are moving in basically the same direction, the north-northeast. So those on the west coast are going to see a little bit of thunderstorm and some heavy activity going on, scattered. On the east coast, it looks all clear, and we are in a summer pattern. So if you want to do something, you should do it in the earlier part of the day, because as we go on with the day and the day warms up, of course, then we get back into the summer pattern of thunder movers in the afternoon. So anyway, we are back. I have Pam Worth with me. She's one of the top female kayak anglers. And I also have Bruce Marx, and one of the things that I find so impressive about Bruce, I mentioned earlier that Bruce had some equipment stolen from him a while back, and instead of being a victim, he became a victor by doing some very impressive things, and I want him to kind of explain that, because I think we need more and more of this. As time goes on, here in South Florida, I am seeing more and more of this insanity where somebody just thinks they can take whatever they want, whenever they want. And until the people work together, and in some cases he has already been responsible for recovering some of these boats that have been stolen. Otherwise, they would have been gone. They would have been, and again, it's not the best feeling in the world to come out and find something that you own, you've worked so hard for, taken, it's gone. It's a sick feeling in the pit of the stomach. I've unfortunately had to endure that a couple of times. So anyway, Bruce, tell us a little bit about the other project that's going on now, the Anti-Theft Project.
All right, sure. There's a lot of things to say, I guess, in a very little time slot, but I'll try and rattle off as much as I can.
Okay.
Last April, I had a GPS stolen from my boat, and I must admit, I was very naive of the theft situation that we had here. The rings of people that were going around stealing electronics, stealing boats, stealing lower units. So I started getting into this a little more with some investigation, and lo and behold, I was very shocked to see what I was finding out. So I decided to first start a community watch effort, and I threw out a post on Facebook trying to get all my friends that are dock masters, operate marinas, to develop an email list. And then a friend of mine, Scott Baxter, saw that post, and he put that idea to Facebook, and together we started the South Florida Marina Boat Watch Group, which is close to 12,000 people now, which serves as the eyes and ears of the fishing community. If somebody hears or is a victim to theft, they post it up, and then that post goes viral, and everybody is on the lookout for thefts in progress and that type of thing. And that page itself has led to a couple of arrests and recoveries. After a year of working with that page, I started to see a pattern, and the pattern was the lack of communication between us boat owners and the police departments. And so I decided to launch a page called Wanted South Florida Marine Theft Task Force. And I started meeting with the City of Miami Police Department. Then I went and met with the Miami State Attorney's Office. And then I met with the Miami-Dade Police Department because, unfortunately, Miami-Dade has the biggest amount of thefts in the Miami area. So I met with some very good and dedicated officers with the Miami-Dade Police Department. And last month, they formed their own Marine Theft Task Force. And that task force that they formed has been responsible for a couple of arrests. And through working with them, as well as the Miami State Attorney's Office, I'm aware of a couple of things that I frankly can't get into, but I can tell all the listeners that there are some good things on the horizon with respect to this theft epidemic. I mean, we can't get all of them, but there are some interesting things that the police are doing now in response to these things, and it's going to benefit all of us in the future.
Well, I just want to say that without people like you who take the initiative, unfortunately, and this has happened to me, you're in a situation where something is taken from you that belongs to you, and you kind of bow your head down and say, okay, well, I just got to suck it up and and save to do it again. You took a different route, and if we had more people that would do this, I want the word to get out. I want the thieves to know that we have, on one group alone, there's over 12,000 people. There's over 24,000 eyes looking around. So you're a thief and you want to take a boat, just remember that. 12,000 people are out there looking around for people like you who steal these boats, so we can catch you in the act and make sure that you go behind bars where you belong and get these people out of the streets. And the police can't do it. That's the honest to God truth. And that's the sad part of it, but they can't do it because it's overwhelming them. They've got their hands full with all kinds of other crimes. So who's it fall down on? Whose shoulders are going to carry this? It's going to be the people. It's going to be somebody like Bruce who steps up to the plate and says, I'm ready, let's do it, and gets it done. I can't tell you how much I appreciate what you've done, because I have suffered that, where somebody has taken something that belongs to me. I've suffered that feeling. It's a violation that's just difficult to put into words. It's anger, it's fear of, oh my God, what happens next time? If I replace it now, are they going to do it again to me? So there's a lot of things that are tied up. It's not just a simple theft; it goes far deeper than that. Thanks, I appreciate it, Bruce. So you have 2 or 3 pages now.
I have a third, which I was going to comment on, and to your point, the police can't do it all. And what we can do to help the police is get involved ourselves and join these groups and post these thefts, because I promise you these groups are working. We recovered a yellowfin that went up on the page. Somebody went in and took some bolt cutters and stole the yellowfin. Later, the guys abandoned it with the truck because they saw that these posts were going through, because the thieves are on the pages too. And we're not giving them any information that they don't already know.
Yeah.
But when they see that their theft is in progress, these guys dumped the boat and the truck and ran from the scene because they knew they were going to get caught.
Yeah.
The problem is that Miami and the surrounding areas has a 30% increase in marine insurance premiums because of the nonsense that's going on here.
Wow.
So the third page that I have, and this is something that I would really appreciate the help from the listeners, it's called Marine Electronics Industry Stop the GPS Thefts. And they can Google that page or search it on Facebook. I'm accepting everyone that wants to join it, because that's an initiative that I feel very strongly about, that in this day and age, the GPS manufacturers have to update their technology and incorporate the same stuff that the marine alarm insurance companies are incorporating, such as tracking devices and geofencing. And one of the other things I'm asking the industry to do is due to the same thing that the OnStar security device does. When a truck or car is reported stolen, OnStar can send a signal and disable
And shut it down.
that stolen vehicle.
Yep.
And for over 30 years, the GPS industry has had the benefit of the marine insurance industry, where an owner will get their GPS unit stolen, make a claim, go back to the retailer, buy a new GPS unit, and the GPS industry is laughing because a third-party insurance company is underwriting those costs. And I feel very strongly that the GPS industry has been complicit in not updating their technology, and it's time that they do so. And I've had some meetings with them at the recent boat show. There's been some articles published on this issue, and I understand that it takes a little bit of time to get these things moving, but I'm making it a personal mission to make sure that in the next 2 years, at the very least, they start putting passcodes into these GPS units, followed by tracking, geofence technology, and then the remote shutdown capability, because there is not one person in this country that will convince me that it can't be done. The only people who are saying that it can't be done are those that manufacture and those who sell the units. Other than that, we, through our insurance premium, are underwriting this, and it's time for them to stand up.
Let me ask, this may be a silly question, but it's something that came to mind as you were describing what's going on. Since the insurance companies are bearing the brunt of this, do you think you could get a hold of somebody at the insurance companies to put pressure on them, to let the insurance companies know that we believe that the technology is there? It's just the manufacturers don't have enough pressure. And, quite honestly, things are done for a profit nowadays, right? It's not in their best interest to do what you want. It's in their best interest to leave things lay the way they are because they sell more product. I mean, I know that sounds cynical, but honestly, this is this is the reality of where we live today. So maybe the insurance companies could put some pressure on these people.
Well, I've had discussions since last November with some members of the insurance industry. I attend a marine insurance seminar every year, and I spoke with some folks about this issue. And the marine insurance industry certainly can put some pressure on these folks. I'm not here trying to generate litigation, but sometimes that's the only way that you catch somebody's attention.
Yeah.
But there's a concept in insurance law of subrogation, where if an insurance company pays out, they can go after a third party if they want to. And this is something that they may be considering. They also may be considering putting in things like Garmin exclusions in their policy until such time as Garmin shows them that Garmin is trying to respond to the theft epidemic. And that's the type of pressure that you're speaking about. And that's the type of pressure that's being considered right now by members of the marine insurance industry.
Okay, so the last Facebook page that you mentioned, I got part of it. It's the Marine Electronics Industry, and what's the rest of it?
Yes, Marine Electronics Industry in parentheticals, and then after that it's Stop the GPS Theft.
Okay. Okay, I know I'm a member on that group because I visited that a couple of nights. Were some of the posts that I see coming up with various things being stolen.
Yeah, you've seen those, Riscala, and you see the people that get on there and comment against the cause are people that are involved in the industry. So I get a bunch of trollers that come on and say that this can't be done.
That's nonsense.
I go back to them and I ask, why is it that my Siren Marine alarm system costs $500-600? Why doesn't the capability that's contained in that unit be integrated into a $5,000 GPS?
Yeah.
I hear nothing but crickets.
Yeah.
So I know I'm in the right area, and I'm going to keep pushing on this thing because they are being complicit by not doing some fundamental things, at the very least, like passcodes.
Well, you can do it on your telephone, okay? And the telephone is a lot less expensive than your GPS, and you can track your telephone. So that's a bunch of, as my mother-in-law would say, a bunch of malarkey.
Yeah, that's nonsense. All right, well, we're at that magic moment. Bruce, before we go, give out the Facebook pages again. The last one you gave out, I got. Marine Electronics Industry, stop the theft.
Yeah, stop the GPS theft. The next Facebook post or Facebook page is Wanted South Florida Marine Theft Task Force. and that's wanted with an exclamation point, South Florida Marine Theft Task Force. And then the last one is the South Florida Marina and Boat Watch Group.
All right, my friend. I greatly appreciate your efforts, and I'm ever so grateful for people like you who step up and do what's necessary. Too many of us are...
And I thank you for giving all of this the airtime that you give to it, because it is an important issue. And when people see that if they just simply... And they don't have to take a frontline position, but if they just get on a page, get on a group, and share it with their friends, it's amazing how you're one share away from catching somebody on I-95 with a strip boat or the boat that's heading to the chop shop.
Yep.
It's already happened. It will happen again, that we will catch these people. And the more people on these pages, the better chance we have at getting these people.
Yeah,
and I can tell you that the state attorney's office, through personal discussions with them, has opened up a whole new division and manner in which to handle these boat-related thefts. So good things are happening on the state attorney's end as well.
You know, when we start getting people together involved like this, the efforts become exponential. And it's just literally like if you could imagine, if you've ever seen a picture of a nuclear bomb going off, it's like that mushroom cloud. It's exponential. It just grows and grows and grows and grows. So I love promoting stuff like this, because I despise people who come out and are irresponsible about taking somebody else's belongings that doesn't belong to them. This is a way for us to step up and go, no, you're not going to get away with it. Thank you, Bruce. Greatly appreciate it, my friend.
You got it. Have a great Sunday, everybody.
Parting words, Pam?
No, I'm just grateful for him getting out there and doing it, and you giving him a platform to get a little extra airtime.
Yeah, I'm always happy to promote stuff like that. Thank you, Bruce. Wish you a wonderful day, my friend. God bless. We're off.
You too.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
From the author of Silent Steps and Haunted, Finding an Explanation for the Unknown, comes a story so chilling it will haunt you for years to come. Krista is a young woman escaping her past, running away from her family, her traumas, and her God, hoping to find a new life in a different town. But when she is forced to make a horrible choice, she comes to realize malevolent entities have controlled the true darkness she has been a part of. That is when her real terror begins. Penitence is disturbing and evocative. It will tear down the walls between what is real and what is nightmare. Penitence is the new novel by the man called the new master of speculative fiction, Ira Robinson. Find it and all of his books at his website, originalworlds.com.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high-quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Want to give your pet the celebrity treatment? Have you heard of Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care in Royal Palm Beach? They're located just off State Road 7 and have been servicing the area for 14 years. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care is the home of the Blueberry Facial, also specializing in tartar removal with 8 years of assisting in dental procedures. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care? They're more than just about dogs. They are the only experienced cat groomer in the area. They also cater to all breeds and sizes and open 6 days a week. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, located just north of the Super Walmart in Royal Palm Beach. You can find them at 250 Business Parkway. They specialize in shampoos with no extra charge, Flea and tick dip's also available. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. You can give them a call at 561-793-9992. They also provide gift certificates for those looking for that special present. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, 561-793-9992. They're located in Royal Palm Beach. That number, 561-793-9992. Call for your appointment today, 561-793-9992. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, where your pet gets celebrity treatment.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop.
Why was the basketball court all wet?
Why?
Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Can I tell you another one? So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. What is a boxer's favorite drink? Fruit punch.
Dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off at school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing in Florida when the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. So I'm fishing in Florida. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Schoal Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. And now your host, Schoal Stevens.
All right, we are back. A beautiful Sunday morning here in South Florida. Not a whole lot going on. We have some weather going on the West Coast, sporadic, and it is moving inshore. And we have some weather going on the East Coast as well, but it's actually moving offshore. Both sides, the weather is moving in a north-northeasterly pattern. So moving away from us on the East Coast, moving towards the coast on the West Coast. But the good news is it's not a whole lot of it going on. And it's going to be a beautiful day to get out there and enjoy it. I have Pam Worth. She's one of the top female kayak anglers, always so generous with her time. Thank you for joining me this morning, Pam, and being my co-host. I greatly appreciate it.
My pleasure. It's always fun to be here, learning something new every day.
I love doing the show. I'm always learning. And speaking of learning, one of the things I learned a whole heck of a lot about was kite fishing. And the person responsible for that is Mike Simko. Good morning, Mike. How are you, my friend?
Good morning, Schoal. Pam, how are you guys?
Great. Gosh, it's good to have you back on.
Well, thanks. Appreciate that. Good to talk to you guys.
He just celebrated a birthday, too. Happy birthday, my friend.
Oh, thanks. I think that was last Sunday. I'm just now recovering.
You kind of sound like it.
It was great. I can't say anything but great. So thank you.
So have you been fishing lately? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, I've been fishing. I mean, the last few days have been a little bit rainy over here, but there's been some really good, and this is going to be surprising. I mean, there's been some incredible sailfish action to the north of Jupiter. I really can't believe it for summertime. There was a boat a couple weeks ago that had over 20 shots at sailfish in one day. Wow! Right in the middle of summer.
Wow!
So, I mean, I have to say, knock on wood, that was a really fun time, and it's kind of continuing. That's right in the Hope Sound area, around the Lorraine Tower. And a little bit, just a hair south of that. And the swordfish bite turned on really well. And here's a really crazy one. There's actually been bluefin tuna that are running through the sword grounds and some of the surrounding areas. So it seems like bluefin tuna are in the migration right now too.
Wow.
Now, am I mistaken?
How big?
Well, I mean, a boat released a 500-pounder, another boat released a 400-pounder. And those that's bycatch. Yeah, bycatch as they're, deep dropping for sword.
Wow.
Wow.
They're great times.
Isn't it shark season as well right now? Migration.
Not so much sharks on the beach run, but there's a population of sharks, bulls, and bulls for the most part, and a few miscellaneous other species mixed in with them. So this is the time that a lot of the shark boats will do dives. Off of the Jupiter area, and there's a lot of them. I mean, put it this way: my friends that are captains of those boats are telling me that there's a ton of sharks around.
Wow. Yeah, I thought it was kind of like, I think I may be off a little bit, but I think it was like a month or so ago, there was a whole migration of them. I mean, like hundreds of them coming through.
That's true, and that's usually, it coincides a little with the mullet run. So that spring mullet run, they follow those, spinner sharks, black tips. They'll, and of course, a whole other slew of species will run the beach as the mullet make their way south in the spring. And it's a great time to fish.
Wow. So let's talk a little bit about kite fishing, because I have learned so much from you.
Yes, sir.
There are different kinds of kites. There's a wide variety of ways you can use them, and they increase your odds of being able to expose your bait out there far greater than just pulling your bait. So on a day like today, we don't have a lot of wind. How do you deal with that?
So, as long as there's a little breath of wind, if say 5 knots of wind, which is very, very light, it looks like it's just a little bit of surface. There's just a little surface turbulence when you have a real light wind like this. You can put a helium balloon, which we do quite often, on your fishing kite. And the way that you do that is you take these, kind of these heavy-duty latex balloons, which will blow up in the 30 to 36 inch range. I like 30 inches, and have a way of kind of gauging that on my boat. But you take a helium tank, blow these balloons up to approximately 30 inches in diameter, and you strap them. Everybody has a different way of doing it. I happen to rubber band. I take a rubber band and attach it to one of the spars on the top side of the kite. So if you can imagine your fishing kite is a square, generally speaking, it's a square, and there's 4 spars that create a cross around, between the corners of the kite. So on one of those upper spars, we'll attach the balloon and secure it. I do it with a rubber band. Other guys do it with dental floss. And it turns the kite. It will basically take the kite up, straight up from the spar, and then the little bit of breath of wind will take it away from the boat and keep it lofted. A lot of times when there's little winds, you need that because there's not enough pressure on the kite to keep baits up, 4 to 6, 7 ounce live baits. And so it's a great little assist. And people have been doing it for years. I would say folks really have perfected it now. In fact, you can put a kite on a balloon and still fly it when there's some more serious wind. So what I'll do in that case, remember how we talked about the different materials which permeate, the wind will permeate,
right.
And allow for the kite to be consistent in various winds. So imagine taking a wind that's designed for a little bit heavier wind, and so you put the balloon on that as well. You would think that's counterintuitive, but then as wind conditions change, that heavy wind will show up while you have a balloon on and you're fishing, but that material will allow that heavier wind to still permeate the kite, permeate through, and it stays stable in the air. So it becomes one of those deals where you keep that kite up all day long, or as long as you're fishing, kite helium becomes a real advantage.
And I said earlier on in the conversation, I said there's so many things that I've learned about the kites. Not only the material that they're made out of, which allows you to control what kind of wind it's in. The idea of adding a balloon, never even occurred to me. So I imagine the balloons are reusable, right? It's not a throwaway kind. It's not like you buy at the store, right?
Well, this is the part that's going to be a little discouraging. It really is a throwaway thing. They're reusable. We detach them during the course of the day, but just it seems the nature of the latex balloon and
it's latex. Okay.
Is that after a night?
Yeah, it breathes.
Sometimes they're not quite where they need to be.
Yeah. Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I didn't hear the latex part. I didn't realize it was latex. Yeah, latex, it'll breathe right through it after a degree of time, so it just it looses everything. It won't even float anymore after probably a day or so.
But you make a great point, because I've I kind of learned this in an ass backwards way. But for the Halloween or for the Valentine's Day for my girlfriend, where I'll buy the Valentine balloons, they're Mylar, and they just stay floating for days and weeks at a time sometimes. So I'm kind of working on in some spare time how to build a helium balloon big enough and balanced enough in Mylar to see if that would work. I think that would be a pretty cool way to keep the helium's not cheap. And I'll be straight with you. When you buy the helium like we do from the industrial gas suppliers, it still takes about $8 in cost to fill that balloon. If you can believe that.
Wow.
So it's not cheap. You don't want to be discarding these balloons every night if you're going to fish in a tournament, if you have a way to store them. So yeah, I'd like to find a way to keep that helium going.
I think the first thing that would come to mind is to find get away from the latex, because it will literally breathe through the latex. They have polyester, I think it's what it is, polyester balloons. But I don't know if they have them as large as what you're talking about. But the polyester balloons can hold the charge, if that's what you want to call it, for, my gosh, probably a week before they begin to lose, before they breathe out.
Well, that's good info. I'm going to look that up.
Those are either polyester or Mylar. I think that one of them is...
I think it's Mylar.
Yeah. I think they're actually almost the same. It may be like a patented name, like Bear Aspirin versus a generic version, but I think it's one of those. They're the ones that are like a metallic. They have like a metallic look to them. They'll last.
Those are Mylar for sure.
Yeah.
And, that's the one I'm working on. And I think there's a way probably to build it in a shape and a size that will really work. And if you have a boat or an area of your boat that you can store those for a little bit of time. Most tournaments we fish that we use the kites are 2 to 3 days in a row. And you can imagine, 3 straight days, 2 kites, sometimes 3.
Wow.
It adds up.
Yeah, quickly. I think Pam was considering at one time trying to figure out how to... Pam, do you know anybody that does kite fishing on the kayak? Did I ask you that before?
Yeah, Bobby does. They call him the kayak rat, or the rat kayak, something like that. He's really cute. He's going to school in Central Florida now, so he's fishing out of the lagoon a lot. But yeah, he kite flies. He's pretty progressive on that. I looked at setting that up on my boat, and I'm still kind of playing with it.
Well, you know who to talk to for any consultations. Mike, I'm sure, will step up right and tell you what he can, what you can or can't or shouldn't do.
Exactly. Mike even did a diagram for me, a drawing
on
how to set it up.
Oh, cool.
It's just me trying to put all those rods and reels together. That's one of the reasons I don't fly fish. But Bobby was real successful. I was out there a couple weeks ago. I think it was a tournament, a kingfish tournament, and I know they were flying kites. They were baiting close to the boat and flying kites, and we were watching the kingfish literally leap,
wow,
4, 5, 6 feet out of the air, attacking the baits that were just fluttering on the surface under the kites. We just sat and watched for about 10 minutes. It was amazing.
That's
really cool.
Along those lines, Pam and I have talked about this, and I know it's kind of top of mind for her, but there's a kite, and I've mentioned this before, there is another kite manufacturer out there that builds a kite. The spars or whatever the structure is in that kite is a little bit more, it's very flexible. And speaking of, it's made of ripstop material, if you're familiar with like the real light parachute type material. And it doesn't, you don't assemble it. It basically, you pull it out of a little bag that's the size of a softball, and it pops open. And based on where the attachment points are, the kite, the wind will grab it, very light wind to very heavy wind. And this is, for a kayaker, it'd be great because it doesn't take up much space.
It's real easy to assemble. It can get wet. You can shake it off and fly it again. So that makes it very unique. And then on top of all that, it, again, you're not going to be worried about this kite because they're very inexpensive. It's called a Boston Big Game kite, if you want to take that down. When you look it up, it'll be perfect for a kayaker. I mean, roll it up in a ball.
Check that out.
Yeah, it's
Boston Big Game kite.
Yeah, it's very different. So when you see it, it'll look very different than the traditional fishing kites that we fly.
I've seen this.
I've seen pro teams that are using them now. It's crazy. They've learned how to torque them, kick them to the left, kick them to the right. They separate them, and without getting into too much, technicality on them, they're very, very easy to use.
Wow, I see this thing in my mind, kind of like those pop-up tents. You just pull it out of a bag and it just kind of pops up by itself. That's how this thing works?
Yeah, but once again, I don't think really there's an internal spar system on these. It's really just the cut of the material, and the way that the wind becomes its structure.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So it's just it's some material that's put together in a way that once the wind grabs it and you're pulling on the attachment points, it just becomes its own little structure. They fly a little bit higher.
Frisbees.
What's that?
Like some of those soft frisbees.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, I know exactly what you're talking about, where they weight the perimeter, but they have that material in between. It's called ripstop. It's pretty common out there. It's what a lot of kite, the trick kiters and the hobby kitists, not the fishing guys, but the guys that make kites in different sizes, shapes, and colors. It's the material they use because the wind does not permeate that material. It basically grabs it and holds it, and so therefore it becomes a little more structural.
Wow. Well, it's that magic moment, but before we go, I want to give you an opportunity. If people wanted to reach you, Mike, and get more information about what you do, how do they do that?
Well, the website is very easy. It's called kitefishing.com, so that's easy to remember. You can get all my contact information on that. I have a few videos on there. We keep adding content over time, so hopefully some of those videos you'll appreciate for being instructional in nature. And on Facebook, it's Kite Fishing Experts / Mike Simko. So those are the two easiest ways to get me. You'll get my phone number and give me a shout. I'd love to help folks get started in this fun little way to fish.
And he is an amazing wealth of information when it comes to kite fishing. I was really astounded at all the different things that you can do with the kite. And I think one of the things that stands out in my mind is I always thought you're going to have a kite out there, you're going to have one line. I was so wrong. I'm not even close. You can have up to, 3 or 4 lines on one kite?
Well, I like to keep it to 3, but you're right. You can put up to 3 really comfortably on a kite given the right wind. And imagine having two kites out. That's 6 more baits added to your normal spread.
Wow!
So it does add the opportunity for more bites.
Well, thank you, Mike. I wish you a wonderful day, my friend. God bless you, and looking forward to having you back on. Before we go, Pam, you want to say bye?
Yeah, just thanks for all the information and how you've helped me. I know that people should get in touch with you. It's going to be a great, I don't want to use the word hobby, but an extension to the fishing industry. Thank you.
Oh, well, thanks. Thanks, Pam. Thanks for Schoal. Great talking to you guys.
God bless you, my friend. Talk to you soon.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
What's up, Ricky Dillon here at the largest social media gathering in the world. So the internet is an amazing place, but sometimes it can be a not so great place with online bullying and trolling and stuff. Have you ever seen online bullying before?
Unfortunately, it's kind of common. Online, people can hide behind the internet. Those comment sections can be a little
harsh.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's a good word for it.
I've been called many homophobic names.
I felt embarrassed. I felt humiliated. It made me stop liking myself.
What if I told you there is something that you can use anytime that you see bullying online that calls attention to it in a nice way? Like, hey, that's not nice.
I wish that was the thing.
It's this! So anytime that you see any kind of hate online, go into your phone, go into the symbol section, post this I, and it says that that's bullying. That's not nice. So would you post this if you saw someone bullying someone?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like a lot more mature way to handle the situation.
Find the emoji in your phone, send it to 5 of your friends, and let them know what it means to be a witness.
Go to eyewitnessbullying.org to learn more about the emoji.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick of Bowen Realty. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped, even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion: air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick of Bowen Realty. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478. Diane Whittick at Bowen Realty, located in Wellington at Wellington Trace East and Forest Hill Boulevard. 561-247-5478.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
I grabbed my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Schoal Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. And now your host, Schoal Stevens.
All right, we are back. It is the Fish Florida Show. An honor and a privilege to have you listen in and join us. I always have so much fun doing this. Our last guest, Mike Simko, and has taught me so much about kite fishing. I always thought kite fishing was a silly thing. In my ignorance, I found out that there was anything but silly. And today has been kind of a focus. I wanted to have Wise on earlier. He was somebody who was in a kayak and caught 34-pound mahi. Hopefully we'll have him on next week. Of course, I have Pam Wiesz. She's in a kayak all the time fishing. And now I have Joe Hector. Joe is the guy who puts on what is called the Extreme Kayak Tournament here in South Florida. I think it's in Pompano. He'll correct me if I'm mistaken. But Joe, good morning and welcome to the Fish Florida Show.
Hey, how's it going, man? You doing all right?
We're doing good. Go ahead, Pam.
Yeah. I want to tell you, that was probably the best offshore tournament I ever fished. Everybody was getting hookups, The weather was perfect. It's like you dialed it in. It was an amazing event. And the people that I talked to that were participating on shore also, the beach events, they just had nothing but just great things to say about the whole event. So great job, bro.
Thank you, Pam. I appreciate it. Yeah, that was it was definitely one of our best events. It was probably the third biggest we ever put on. And as for the fish, it was the most quantity of fish that we've ever had in an extreme event. Not the biggest fish, but the most caught in an event. And, in the end, that's what you want. You want, because we have so many out-of-towners. I mean, the winner was from Orlando, but we have so many out-of-towners. You want these guys to catch fish. And we were really happy about that. And the guy from California, he got a big mutton snapper, and he was happy. And, it's good to see, all these guys have a good time, catch fish, come back to the beach, have some awesome food and drinks from our sponsors, and just enjoy the show.
And I heard you, what was the count? I heard it was well over 100.
Oh, yeah. We had 115 anglers. It was actually close to 120, but some people always kind of back out in the end, and they end up doing the next event or whatever they want to do. But yeah, it was one of our biggest ones we've ever had.
I can't imagine. And so, did you get some? I guess I would call it drone footage. Some footage from up in the air of all this going on.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of footage. The thing with us is it takes obviously a couple weeks to get everything. Not only in from all of our guys, but, as for the photos and the video, we have multiple people working on different parts to put out the best product we can. Jimmy's our video guy, and he's going through all the footage now. There's just, in one day, it's amazing how much footage you could actually get. And but yeah, we put out a teaser video very early. And if people want to see that, they can just go to our website, and it's right there on the first page, or they can click the SummerSlam tab, and they can check it out there as well. So you could check out that nice teaser that Jimmy made for these people. And we have some awesome photos from our awesome photographers, Dennis and Bustamante. They're both phenomenal at what they do, and they both have a different style. So George kind of gets that underwater type style, whereas Dennis gets the kind of like in the moment element to it on land. So
is that
it's a good mix.
Is that Dennis Friel? What's Dennis?
No.
Okay.
No, not Brio. It's let me get his last name here. Sorry, it's really long and.
Okay, that's not who I thought it was. There was another artist that was first name was Dennis that was doing quite a bit in the fish industry. I just thought it might be him.
Yeah, you could check out if you go to our social media. You'll definitely see his stuff. He's tagged in pretty much everything that we do. It's Dennis, so it's DENESS. If they want to check out his work on his Instagram page, it's DENESSZAKACS Photography, and they can go there and check out his awesome work from the event.
Cool.
Well, you mentioned his site, but you mentioned that we should all go to your site. Can you give us what your site is?
Yep, it's extremekayakfishing.com. That's our website. Or they can go to our Instagram, which is Extreme Kayak Fishing, one word. Or they can check us out on Facebook, which is Extreme Kayak Fishing Inc. Or they can check out my personal Facebook, my business page, which is Joe Hector Kayak.
And he's certainly not a politician because he's too easy to get a hold of.
Well, on top of this, there's an extra factor here. On top of this, they just had a baby that's just, a couple months old?
Oh, that's right. Congratulations, yeah.
Yeah, she just turned 2 months. Yeah, it's been a lot of work lately with everything combined, but we're pulling it off. And, that's why another reason why it was so rewarding, this event, everything that we've been kind of going through and adding to the series and all that. Maria, my wife, has done a phenomenal job with everything on top of breastfeeding and everything, we've been doing, like Pam said, she's only a couple months old, and to kind of fit everything in and still, do what we're doing and put on a fabulous show last weekend, just kind of shows, where Maria is in all this. And she's an awesome partner with me in this business, as well as my wife, and she's done a fabulous job.
I love hearing stories like that.
She worked marvelous.
Oh, thank you.
You would have never known she just had a baby.
Oh yeah, she's been working at the gym hard.
Wow. I envy people like that. Actually, I get kind of mad at them because it seems like it's effortless for them. I know it's a lot of work. There's no question about it.
Right.
But it seems like on the surface, it seems like it's effortless for them. I have a young lady who's a friend of mine who's a very, very powerful professional. She's had 3 children now. And you look at her and you think she's a model. And I'm telling you, within a month or so after she has her child, she's been working the whole time, working out, and she's back to looking like before she ever had a kid again. And again, on the surface, it looks like, oh my gosh, it's just like effortless, but there's a tremendous amount of effort that goes on. So in a way, I'm very envious of them, but in a way, I'm very upset that I don't have the commitment that it takes. My gosh, a lot of commitment. And you just described part of that commitment, the commitment to your family and the commitment to the other people who are looking to you to put this thing on, and then the commitment to the quality of the show that goes on. I think the evidence is there that you've lived up to all of them. And your life changes pretty drastically when you have a kid. I remember those days. Yeah. Are you sleeping at night?
No, not but yeah, no, you're right. And that's the one thing. When Maria and I years ago discussed, doing these events, the one thing that we always talked about, even to this day, is, we want the quality to be top notch, and not just on the event, but on the photos and the video and everything that we put our hands on. We just want that quality to be top notch for what we do, because we always knew in the beginning, you have these multi-million-dollar boat tournaments, and that was the stuff that we looked at. That was the stuff that we wanted to be. So, we based our events, off of the best, and that's kind of what we strive for. We're not there yet. We can always change things and learn things and add things, but it's definitely a path that we want to stay on, and hopefully one day, we can get there.
How did you, I think I asked you this before, but I'm curious because I don't recall. How did this ever come to pass? I take it you were a kayak fisherman at one, or you are a kayak angler of some sort, right?
Yeah. I moved here from New Jersey, and I came from a fishing family, and we fished a lot of events in New Jersey and the Carolinas, and through the years for tuna and striper and all that. And I moved here to South Florida for college, and then I was just like any other college student. I was didn't have much money at the time, and ended up selling my boat, and then I tried to find a way to get out there and fish. And I remember one night I had a couple cocktails, and I was sitting with my wife, and it was on Discovery Channel about those Indians that would hunt the whales on the kayaks. And I looked at her and I'm like, man, that's pretty cool. I think I could do something like that. And she's like, well, you can try, but it's kind of weird and nuts. And I ended up buying a kayak at Bass Pro, and I went out there and I caught a kingfish and a huge mahi, and I was hooked from there. And
wow.
The business side of me, because I come from a family where my dad owns his business, my grandfather owned a business, my great-grandfather owned a business, and the business side of me were saying, there's got to be something here. And I ended up mixing my passion, which was fishing, with a business, and spewed out came extreme kayak fishing out of all that.
That's amazing. That truly, Oh my gosh! What I like about the idea of kayak, especially like one like, I don't know if they're all like this, but the one Pam has, you pedal. It's kind of an independent feeling. You know, it's nice to have the boat and the motor and all that, because you can certainly do a lot more with that in different kinds of water than you can with a kayak. But the one thing you can do with a kayak that you can't do with a boat is you can take it just about anywhere. I mean, some of them are so light you can carry them by hand, and so you can take it just about anywhere. It doesn't require a lot of water to float. And so it's like to me, it's kind of like more of a step towards individual independence for somebody. Does that make sense?
Oh, most definitely. And, another thing that's unbelievable is the evolution. I mean, just from when I started, it's evolved into, something totally different. So it's amazing. And that's not a long time ago, we're talking, 2008. And, or maybe it is. I'm getting old. But
wow.
But it's just the evolution is unbelievable, and I'm one of those people that always believes in you learn a lot from the past to put out a really good product in the future. And one of my mentors in this was Kayak Willie. He was a guy that I ended up getting in touch with through multiple friends, because he was so hard to get in touch with at the time. But he was a guy that fished these big boat tournaments in a kayak that was actually made of fiberglass in the 70s and early 80s.
Wow. And
that was the guy who when I had this idea, I first got in touch with to kind of pick his brain. And you can always learn something from anybody and everything. And I ended up learning a lot from him. And he used to go to all of our events in the morning shoot-offs, and not really around that much anymore. He's been kind of sick. But yeah, he was a guy that really kind of helped me springboard this thing into what it is.
Wow. An amazing story, Joe. We're up against a break. Before we go, let me give you an opportunity one more time. Your website, people want to know more about this. I think now the next tournament is off till next year now, or we got another one coming up shortly? When's the next one?
No, we got the SummerSlam Part 2, and that's August 10th.
Okay.
And so that's actually right around the corner. It's about a month away. And that'll be the second part of the SummerSlam, and that will be the winner of the series. The winner from last year will be introduced with his ring, and whoever wins the series wins the Extreme Kayak Fishing Championship ring. If anglers want to see the ring standings, which is actually really close and a long list this year, they can go to our website, extremekayakfishing.com, and just hit the SummerSlam tab up top on the website, and they can get all their information there, or they can just hit ring standings up top on the tab. They can find us online there. They can find our social media, which is Extreme Kayak Fishing on Instagram, one word. They can hashtag Extreme Kayak Fishing Tournament or Extreme Kayak Fishing. Those are our hashtags. And then they can go to our website, or not website, our Facebook. We got a lot. Extreme Kayak Fishing Inc., and they can give us a like and find out more information there as well.
And August is literally around the corner, so if you want to get involved, if you've got a kayak and you want to get involved in this, you've got to get over to the website and get registered with Joe. Joe, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Looking forward to having you back on with updates. Before we go, Pam, any parting words?
No, just again, probably one of the best tournaments I ever fished. I really enjoyed myself. My cuda wasn't big enough to win the trash can, but I still had a great time. And my buddy caught his first ever sailfish, so that was mind-blowing for him.
Wow.
Awesome.
All right, Joe, God bless you.
That's great to hear. So,
wish you a wonderful day, my friend. God bless.
All right, thank you, guys. Pam, I'll see you soon.
With your host,
yes,
Rick
sir.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.
From the author of Silent Steps and Haunted, Finding an Explanation for the Unknown, comes a story so chilling it will haunt you for years to come. Krista is a young woman escaping her past, running away from her family, her traumas, and her God, hoping to find a new life in a different town. But when she is forced to make a horrible choice, she comes to realize malevolent entities have controlled the true darkness she has been a part of. That is when her real terror begins. Penitence is disturbing and evocative. It will tear down the walls between what is real and what is nightmare. Penitence is the new novel by the man called the new master of speculative fiction, Ira Robinson. Find it and all of his books at his website, originalworlds.com.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high-quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Want to give your pet the celebrity treatment? Have you heard of Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care in Royal Palm Beach? They're located just off State Road 7 and have been servicing the area for 14 years. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care is the home of the Blueberry Facial, also specializing in tartar removal with 8 years of assisting in dental procedures. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care? They're more than just about dogs. They are the only experienced cat groomer in the area. They also cater to all breeds and sizes and open 6 days a week. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, located just north of the Super Walmart in Royal Palm Beach. You can find them at 250 Business Parkway. They specialize in shampoos with no extra charge. Flea and tick dips also available. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. You can give them a call at 561-793-9992. They also provide gift certificates for those looking for that special present. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. 561-793-9992. They're located in Royal Palm Beach. That number, 561-793-9992. Call for your appointment today. 561-793-9992. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, where your pet gets celebrity treatment.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Can I tell you another one? So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it. What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. What is a boxer's favorite drink? Fruit punch.
Dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off at school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Schoal Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. And now your host, Schoal Stevens.
All right. Well, a good morning to you. If you're just joining us, you've missed out on quite a bit. And but don't fear, because we do have archives set up. You can find the archives at www.fishfloridashow.com and go to past events, and you can find all of our archives located there. So anything that you've missed this morning, you can always kind of catch up on. I know some people don't join us until around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and so they miss that first portion of the show. I always am impressed with my co-host's generosity of time. Pam Wiesz, she's one of the top female kayak anglers here in Florida, takes the time out to spend with me Sunday mornings and kind of helped me learn in a way. I've learned quite a bit from her alone. So welcome, Pam. Thank you for what you do. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure, sir. I have a good time listening to this show and working with you and chatting with the guests. And you're right, you learn something every time.
I certainly do, and it's part of one of the reasons I love doing it. And the memories. I have lifelong memories, fond memories of fishing, and I would like to offer that opportunity to other people. That there's stuff that we can do because we're surrounded with technology all the time. We have all this technological stuff around us. God has given us a great gift. We have a wonderful place here in Florida. The heat may get to you a little bit, but my goodness, we can cool off very quickly because I don't think you can go very far without running into some degree of water. My next guest, Justin Richie. Justin happened to be one of the kayak anglers in the extreme kayak fishing tournament that we were just speaking with Joe about. And but Justin stood out above the crowd. He did something that seems like nobody else was able to do, and that was he was the winner of the tournament. Congratulations, my friend, and welcome to the Fish Florida Show, Justin.
Hey, good morning. Thank you, sir, and good morning, Pam. How are you doing today?
Real good, sir. It was great to see you the other day in the shop.
Yeah, it was good. A long time needed. You know, we definitely need a good catch-up session, and the day of the tournament can be pretty hectic, so it's hard to go through and catch up with everybody when we're all laser focused.
So, go ahead, Pam.
You've been a long time angler with multiple wins inshore and offshore, and then kind of took a hiatus, right?
Yeah, I joke with my friends and tell people that I was actually retired from tournament fishing because you know I love the challenge of a tournament. You know, you and I, Pam, we get to travel the state and catch species in different parts of Florida, both inshore and offshore. And, you know, we both acknowledge that a tournament is kind of the coup de grace of kayak fishing because it truly tests your skills in a structured format. So we like a challenge, you know, just going out and catching a redfish or just going out and catching a kingfish offshore for the day is great. But when you put it into a structure and you have to test your limits, you know, that makes it that much more enjoyable and it pushes our skill set as anglers. So, you know, for years, I loved doing tournaments and I loved asking myself, what kind of results can I have on the water if I gave 100% of my effort? Instead of just going out and having fun and throwing a lure here and there and, oh, maybe I'll catch a fish today, maybe I'll just go explore. I asked myself, what kind of day can I have if I just gave 100% of my time, my focus, my energy? And I learned that in doing so, the results were great. I did well in tournaments in the inshore scene. I had opportunities to travel internationally and compete. But some things changed. I started to focus on my career. I ended up getting married, got a house. You know, things happen in life. And I just stepped away from the tournament scene for a while to focus on other more important things. But this tournament, coming back and doing the Extreme Kayak Series, it's something I've wanted to do since the inception of the tournament. I love offshore fishing. I love fishing for blackfin tuna. And I've followed friends and locals of the area for years, but I didn't have all the right gear to be successful. You know, Pam, you can attest for it. In the inshore world, having a fish finder and a GPS chart plotter is a valuable tool if you're going to cover a lot of water and explore creeks and winding labyrinth of mangroves. But a depth finder isn't necessary for a lot of the fishing we do inshore unless we're going to be in excess of 8 or 10 feet of water, which a lot of times we're not. But offshore, it's required. You know, there is a big difference in fishing 120 feet of water versus 160 feet of water. And the fish tend to hang out in these highways, you know?
I agree with you totally. And, you know, my joke, electronics, I think this was the first tournament that my electronics actually worked the whole day. So all my offshore tournaments, I pretty much fish blind. And if I see somebody go by, I'll go, what depth of water are we in?
Yeah, and, you know, it's inevitable. We could have... We learn this, you know, when we go tarpon fishing or if we do something as big as going offshore. When trying to target big game species, you have to prepare on so many different levels between the type of rig that you have, the type of gear that you have to take on your kayak, The electronics failing, battery connections not working, God forbid a pedal drive or propulsion system, goes down on you when you're out there. Some of these things are inevitable. And, I've learned over time that if you have 100 things to plan correctly, if you have 100, tasks or items that you need to go off on your checklist before you go fish, there are days where even if you have 99 out of those 100 things, you can bet that one thing that didn't go right could potentially be the difference between being successful and skunking out for the day. And sometimes it's electronics. So the day before the tournament, my live well didn't work. I went out there. I didn't test I have a recirculating system. I have a Hobie live well that has a 12-volt battery. It'll pull water in from one of the scupper holes in the kayak, recirculate through the tank, and then the outflow of wastewater will flow out of a standpipe and out of the kayak. Well, the bait that we use is very big, and they're very sensitive to water chemistries. They need space. They need clean water all the time. And it didn't work. So I got out there, I caught bait, and I had to just keep a bucket of water, and consistently change out the water with an empty water bottle to try to keep my bait alive the day before the tournament. And I was worried, like, oh my gosh, if I can't keep live bait alive, then, am I even going to stand a chance when there's 100 people out there that all have, healthy, fresh live baits? So, it's kind of a word to the wise. One of the best things we can do as tournament anglers is to have a shakedown. Have a day before or even 2 days before where you go through and you physically test and try all of your gear, all of your electronics to make sure that you're prepared for that day.
I agree with you. I went out with, the guy who ended up third. I went out with Brian Nelly just to try everything. And the day before, I took an extra day off work and went down to Nautical Ventures to work on my electronics. And you're 100% right. But let's go back to the day. What happened? What did you catch, and how did you catch it? And you don't have to, it's not like inshore with spots. But what was your game plan?
So the day before, I went out with a local friend and scouted an area and just tried to get an idea of where the kingfish were hanging out, at what depth. Kingfish are, I tried to look at it. They're actually similar to sea trout in that in our deeper water scenarios inshore, like 3-4 feet of water, sea trout tend to school up, and so do kingfish. The name of the game was your heaviest combination of 5 species, and you can legally keep 2 kingfish in a day, and the 3 others you can put together with a variety of species: blackfin tuna, African pompano, a wahoo if you get lucky. But my game plan was just to be able to get 2 kingfish in the boat as fast as humanly possible. So there was an area that I paddled out to that I knew, as soon as we all launched at 7 a.m., I could get over to. And if I told myself, if I was the first person to have baits in the water in this area, because I knew that it was going to have a lot of kayak anglers heading over to fish it, if I was one of the first people to have baits in the area, it would be my first opportunity to hook up before the fish had an opportunity to choose between different baits that were presented. And sure enough, we launched at 7 o'clock, and probably by 8 o'clock or 8:15, I already had my 2 kingfish in the boat. So that was a good call. I ended up getting 2 fish pretty early on, and after that, I decided, okay, I could spend more time and try to upgrade the size of my kingfish, which, is going to be a crapshoot because you've got 15, 20 other people around me that are all fishing for kingfish, and it's a numbers game, so 5 fish can definitely outweigh 2 fish. So I said, all right, I will spend more time and go offshore and go vertical jigging for blackfin tuna. And I was joking with friends before the tournament. I actually when I head offshore, I don't choose to target kingfish. Kingfish are a great fish to fight, and they can get huge. I've seen people catch 30 and 40-pound kingfish out of their kayak. But for table fare, it's not my preferred species to target. There's many other species offshore that are better table fare than kingfish. So when I would go out recreationally, I would spend most of my time vertical jigging for blackfin tuna. I wouldn't say that I'm much of a kingfish fisherman. That's definitely not my forte. But when I have the opportunity to paddle out deeper, 280 feet, 300 feet, all the way out to 350 feet, and try to vertical jig with, Mr. Stevens, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the techniques and if Pam has talked about it in previous episodes, but vertical jigging is a very physically strenuous sport. At least traditionally, the traditional vertical jigging that people have become accustomed to over the past 10 years. Taking a 5-ounce piece of metal designed to look like a fish or a squid, dropping it down in 300 feet or deeper of water, and building that cadence of speed and bouncing of the rod tip to impart action in your lure as fast as humanly possible, so that it looks like a prey fleeing as fast as it can. Well, in previous years, that has yielded results for me. As fast as I can get the jig back up to the surface meant the difference between catching a bonito, which doesn't count in this tournament, and catching a blackfin tuna. I learned that in previous years, if I had a steady cadence or a slower jigging pattern, I got undesirable species. But if I could get it much faster, I was able to target species that I actually wanted to catch. This year, completely different. In my past few months of going down and just fishing for fun and trying to figure out what are the tuna doing, what's the pattern, how are they responding to lures. Granted, every day is different, and they may want something fast one day and slow the next. I learned that consistently, all of the tuna that I've caught were working the lure really, really fast, and then naturally I would get tired. I'd stop, and I would do a large sweep of my rod upward and just kind of, I call it yo-yoing, just a large sweep upward and just get the jig to flutter and naturally fall back down, and flutter and naturally fall back down. And really, I just did it because I'm tired. You're pulling 5 ounces of lead through the water.
It gets so quick.
It wears you out.
Wow.
Well, that was successful. I did that. I felt like I had one hit halfway up. I dropped my bait back down. I fluttered. And that's when I hooked into and landed a 21-pound blackfin tuna, which on tournament day is insane. That's, it could be a needle in a haystack to find a fish that big against 100 people.
Man.
So it was very fortunate.
Heck of a story, Justin. Well, I'll tell you what. Now, are you planning on fishing any other tournaments that are coming up?
No, I definitely plan on participating in the Part 2 series.
Oh, good.
It's going to happen on August 10th.
Right.
So it's actually that time of the year is going to be different. We have the chance to target some different species in that tournament. In previous years, people have caught wahoo in excess of 70 pounds.
Holy smokes. Wow.
Yeah, so it's definitely a anybody's game kind of series. The Part 2 series can be a game changer for anyone competing. So I'll be kind of changing my efforts and focus going into that tournament. But the weekend before that is a local tournament out of Brevard County in Melbourne called the RCI Optics Invitational. It's a sunglass company, and they're good friends of mine. So it's a local inshore tournament that a lot of people in the area participate in, just to be a part of a community and just go catch some redfish and snook. So just for fun.
Well, I'll be looking forward to having you back on. You've got a tremendous attitude, a very positive attitude, which is great. And I think the evidence of that is you won the tournament. It certainly doesn't take a negative attitude to win. You have to have a positive attitude. And absolutely, that is there with you. Greatly appreciate it, my friend. Thank you for taking the time to share with us. I am completely out of time. I'll get with Pam. I'll get with you. We'll have you back on with an update when the next Part 2 comes up.
Sure, that sounds great. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate the invite, and I'm sure we'll talk soon, and Pam will get out on the water soon together.
Go ahead, Pam.
Sounds like a plan. Take care.
All right, my friends.
Thank you all. Take care.
Thank you. All right, my friends, we are done for the day. We're overdone for the day, but that's all right. Wish everybody a wonderful day. We'll see you in a week. Thank you. Thank you, Pam.